Hey everybody, welcome to another Super Mario Maker video. In this video, we'll be covering the phenomenon that is a Trump jump. What's a Trump jump, you ask? Well, if you've been hanging around, oh god, if you've been hanging around my, well, the YouTube gaming Mario Maker community, I would say, you probably already know what a Trump jump is. And this is official terminology, okay? So, some people have referred to Trump jumps as hot garbage, but I like to think of Trump jumps as a single space vertical jump between two sets of spikes in Super Mario Maker. You could probably swap out the spikes with munchers or something. As long as you got that vertical single space thing. The saws, not so much. The hitbox of saws is not as intense as the spikes. So what you see right here to my left is a Trump jump. And we gotta nail it to get to the axe. Are we gonna do it? Probably not, but let's give it a crack. Wait for Bowser to stop spitting fire. Here we go. Oh, like halfway there. Okay. So you're like, why the hell? So, okay. Let me give a little history on how this came to be. So around sometime last summer, Donald Trump announced that he was running for president. I don't have to say anything else about that. Nothing else more about that needs to be said. But around the time that he made the announcement, and he was talking about the wall between Mexico and the United States, I was thinking, man, that is some potential for a very good Mario Maker level. And I started having some crazy ideas, all kinds of ideas. I remember the first ideas I had of this level, right? This great wall, right? We're thinking about this crazy wall, this impenetrable fortress of crap. Just like, this is the wall between the United States and Mexico, right? We're gonna have like hammer bros and bullets and just totally like unpenetrable. Like, how the hell am I gonna get through that kind of nonsense? Those are my first thoughts. But then, so I started playing around with all these crazy ideas. What you see before you is like, I mean, look at this. This was like, I don't know how this came to be, but I started like doing these crazy spike jumps. Like, that was what it started to be. I was thinking like this impenetrable fortress. And it became, instead of like a wall, it became more like a fortress, like this, like these jumps. Look at these jumps. These single space spike jumps, they were crazy. Like, we started doing this nonsense. Oh my god, this baby Bowser shooting fire. And it's just like, this is how it started. It started snowballing into more and more heinous things, like the level you saw at the beginning of the video, and all kinds of stuff. This right here that you see, this next jump is like textbook Trump jump. You see the two spikes. You've got one space to jump in between, and it is hard as hell. I built a whole level around this concept. Somehow coasters got involved, but it was always spikes, spike jumps, spike jumps, spike jumps. And at the end of the level, or somewhere in the level, you would find what was later to be called a Trump jump. That's just what the community started calling them, because, you know, I was a live streamer, and people saw this level, and they were like, this level is bananas, what the heck is this? And then, you know, we started to see more levels have stuff like this with the single space spike jumps here. And people just started calling them Trump jumps. And it was based off of this level called Donald Trump for President, which has been up for a while now, at least over a year. So let's give this jump a shot. Oh, man. Always a butt clencher. That right there is the simplest type of Trump jump. But as you can see, it just gets crazier and crazier. Oh! And yeah, that's how the level ends up looking. So in the Super Mario Maker community, the Trump level, the Trump jumps became somewhat of a sensation. I don't know, it was a thing, right? It was a thing. So of course I had to make a sequel, and the sequel was called Make America Great Again, parentheses, DTFP2. So I had to steal Trump's catchphrase and just keep building upon this. And you'll see in this level that the concepts are pretty much the same, just a hell of a lot harder. This level takes the concept from the first one of the coasters and the crazy spike jumps, but it amplifies them and cranks them up to freaking 11. I just started getting wild with this stuff, man. There was no limit to how crazy I could make this. The levels were built to take the idea of that wall and make it into a Mario level, but it transformed into so much more than just a wall. It's more of a concept, an impenetrable thing. An impenetrable idea or level. At the time, the media and everyone else was talking about Trump and all that craziness, and when I was making these levels, I was purposely making them obnoxious. They were supposed to be, that was the point. Whew. Yeah, I wasn't even talking because you saw that. That was, this is the level. This is, and you see it kind of evolves into that formula. Get off the coasters and here you are jumping in between spikes. Single spaces, double spaces, shit is freaking crazy. When I was making these levels, I did want them to be beatable, but at the same time, they were really meant to be obnoxious. Y'all may have noticed that both levels so far have featured a giant baby Bowser jumping around, shooting fire at you, getting in the way, just being a real jerk. Is he supposed to represent Trump actually being at the wall throwing crap at you? Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe not. So the end of this level features some Trump jumps, as you might imagine. However, this area can actually be cheesed a little bit, that people have found. If you go really quickly, you can actually do some crazy stuff. Let me see if I can pull it off. So you would jump here and then clear that, and you could actually make that entire jump. When I created the level, it actually had Trump jumps too. This trampoline jump was the most brutal jump of the level. And then you would jump down here in between the spikes. But this was a continuation of the Trump jumps, and of course it ended with one magnificent final jump. Claim the goal. And you would always just barely miss it. I figured I had to make just one more level at the time, and I called it Can't Stump the Trump, DTFP3. Out of 20,000 well, 16,000 plays, only 6 clears have been registered on the level, and that's pretty crazy. This was supposed to be the last of the series, put the kibosh in the whole Trump levels thing, but we'll see how that ended up turning out in a bit. I wanted this one to be the craziest of the 3 levels, because it was supposed to be the last one. This was supposed to be the last one, and I made it insane. This door takes you to the end of the level so that you can look at the final jump. That is the ultimate Trump jump right there. That is the final jump of the level. You get through the whole thing, and that is what you get to look forward to. I took the idea of the Trump jump, amplified it, cranked it up to 1 billion, and forced you to do it to beat the level. The beginning of the level is just obnoxious. You've got these tiny, Trumpy, jumpy spike jumps in between the things to get onto the next coaster. And you go in between here. Let's see how far I can get. Jump, 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 more coaster fun, just like the first 2 levels. You know, these actually ended up being very popular. People really had a lot of fun with the coaster parts. Because as crazy as some of the parts of the levels were, they actually had some really fun platforming elements. Well, this section kind of used the Trump idea by making you jump on little spaces in between 2 spikes. The one thing I can say about the levels, at least they were short, so at least they weren't crazy long or anything. In the final level, it ends with some of the most obnoxious platforming you've ever seen. Look at this Trump jump right here. Oh! I'm gonna get that. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Then you have to make your way over to the donuts, and it's not any easier. Walk off. Walk off. Oh, it's so hard. Let's pick up from here. The final section involves jumping on the donuts, the crazy spikes, super claustrophobic. Tiny short hops, jump on here, and here we are at the final jump, which you saw at the beginning of the video. This was supposed to complete the Trump saga. This last jump was everything, man. This took every obnoxious idea of the levels and made it into one last thing. I wasn't even close. We're gonna sit here until we get it. That's my punishment for making this. Oh. There we go. 3rd try. That's not bad. That's not bad. So if you practice the Trump jumps, that doesn't make them, they're so obnoxious, but you do start to get a feel. Like anything else, you do start to get a feel. It's all about canceling out Mario's momentum in midair and then just falling straight down. Very difficult, but hey, it is a thing. And, you know, some people like them. I even wrote Finn in coins to represent that this was the last one. But as a lot of you probably already know, when Donald Trump won the nomination, I had to make another one. I just had to. I felt obligated, and I called it the nominee, of course. Of course. This one has a higher clear rate than the second and the third one. I think the second one. At least the third one. This one's not as bad, so I had learned a lot. And playing a lot of Super Mario Maker, I got tired of playing really obnoxiously difficult courses, so I did tone this one down. Not to say it's not insanely hard still. I won't show off this one too much, but I will show you that involves the classic platforming, the coasters. Got the door that I preserved from the third one, lets you see the end. I actually made a split path where you can choose to do an insane Trump jump to get to the axe a little faster if you're going for a world record, or you can go the other way, which you can see on the left here. So, some new ideas, but still preserving all of the old ones as well. And there you have it, folks. That's the Trump everything. That's what happened. That's a thing. That's a thing that happened. That's the best way to put it. Since then, I've seen so many crazy levels that have taken the idea. This one's called Trump-athlon. And you can see, I mean, look at it. Are you kidding me? Who would make this thing? But I think it's safe to say I have no one to blame but myself. So I always thought it was pretty funny that the term Trump jump came to be. It actually became, I mean, it's quite common lingo in the Mario Maker community now, at least on YouTube gaming. On Twitch, I highly doubt a lot of people know about it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Twitch knows about it too. This is the internet after all, and this stuff spreads like wildfire, man. So there you go, everybody. That's the end of the class on Trump jumps. Does it have anything to do with Donald Trump? Loosely, it kind of does, I guess. I mean, it was born on a level called Donald Trump for president. And a lot of you are probably wondering, wait, Ryu, you made a fourth level called the nominee when he got the nomination. Does that mean that there's going to be a fifth one with the election coming up? You'll just have to wait and find out, man. So as always, thank you all so much for watching the video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to share with your friends so everybody knows what a Trump jump is. It's very important lingo. Very important lingo. And why not? Why don't you tweet it at Donald Trump himself? Be like, yo Don, this is so hard, man. You should see these jumps they named after you. Check them out. He would probably be flattered. You'd be like, yes, right. That's exactly what the wall's gonna look like. You're gonna have to jump through that if you want to get to America from Mexico. That's how it's gonna work. He would probably really like that. Oh! So if you happen to make that jump, maybe you actually deserve to get across the border illegally. Who knows, man? But I like to keep the politics out of it. I just like the funny nature of the whole concept. It's not about the politics, it's about just having fun, man. So again, thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, I will see you all later.
Dude, are you telling me there's 3 Trump jumps? Are you kidding me right now?